the new manager. I've heard you are a very valuable asset to the corporation, contributing greatly to the prosperity of our company. I ask that you please keep up the good work with your capable assistant, Angela. You will not find me in this place at the moment, but I believe we will be able to come face to face soon. Lobotomy Corporation will never forget your devotion and effort. I look forward to meeting with you. Kind regards, A, CEO of Lobotomy Corporation. You've received a document written by A himself? Perhaps you're being recognized now. A is on a rather long journey currently. As all journeys have to end, the final destination will be home, this place. Sometimes I imagine myself on a journey too, accumulating memories while looking at a world I have never seen before. The day still lies cold, but we know that the winter frost is almost over. However, the end of winter does not necessarily mean that spring is coming. Hey, manager, I'm Tiphereth. Nice to meet you. I'm Tiphereth, too. Do you two share the same name? Of course we are. Isn't it obvious? We're twins. But if your question is whether we are biological twins, then no. In other words, trying to differentiate us is meaningless. I think I might have hit the other one by accident. Oh well. We're in charge of Central Command Team. The department for Central Command is a huge one, so there are two of us to handle everything. Or it makes no difference, I don't really care. Like two peas in a pod. Isn't that fortunate? Seeing as you've survived your duties long enough to meet with us, I won't have to bore both of us with the basics of things like what abnormalities are and how to manage them, right? If you turn out to be a disappointment, know that not even your status as the manager will let you get away with it. I know you'll do fine, manager. Here's a word of advice. I'm nothing like those upper Sephiroth you've gotten used to, so don't treat me like I'm one of them. They're a bunch of idiots. But in technical aspects, we're not so different. What I'm trying to say is, the uppers are only good at pretending to be busy when they don't even have much to work to begin with. I can't even believe we're all considered to be Sephiroth. Anyway, the Central Command Department is where the true story starts. I don't care if it disappoints you or gives you encouragement. All I care about is that if you have good performance in your work. She's actually kind of not lying here. This is where the story picks up. I hope you'll find some encouragement here. Hey, Tiphereth. Nitsack brought his song with him. Hi, Nitsack. Since you're both Tiphereth, I guess that counts as you both greeting me. Here's the plan for the joint operation drill between the safety team and the Central Command team tomorrow. Please look it over. Look it over? I bet I'll have to rewrite the entire thing from scratch. Just leave it over there, Nitsack. I'll give it a review and let you know. Tiphereth, you're too soft. There's no need to be kind to an addict like Nitsack. You might end up catching upper layer syndrome that way. Speaking of, that plan of yours came 2 days later than I requested. But Nitsack can work fine when he's motivated to. You know that. Results are not the problem here. The point is, Lady Angela is way too easy on us. If I were her, I would have punished this addict right at the first infraction. That'd please yes out, alright. Why don't you two go and have some serious discussion on implementing a penalty point system? I bet it'll be productive. Oh, just be quiet. Plus off to that upper layer of yours where you belong. I was about to. See ya, Tiphereth. Yeah, bye, Nitsack. The upper Sephiroth have it way too easy. Not that the middle Sephiroth are any better in my eyes. I like our middle Sephiroth. They're cheerful and make me laugh. Wholesome 100. How many times do I have to tell you? You shouldn't laugh so easily. We have to be strict, stern, and stoic. We're the centralmost, the Central Command Team. Don't worry, Tiphereth. I know. By the way, don't we have something to discuss with the manager? Oh, manager, you're still here? Well, I have an assignment for you. Don't even think about slacking off. The manager will do fine, like he always does. He could fail too, like he always does. So, Tiphereth's first set of missions are all ending the day before a certain Quilthoth level. Right now we have to end before 9. We haven't even gone to 9 once, so this is pretty easy. Some people recommend grinding a lot before this happens so you aren't limited, because from now on we'll have a tough time getting up higher into those high levels to grind more efficiently, but also we don't really need to, so I don't really agree with that. And we can only expand Central Command. Welcome back to Lobotomy Corporation. Last time we got started in Central Command Team 1 and had a death, and we're sad about it, and now that I've had some time to grieve, I've decided that Li He-Chang will be the new Kemderi, and that he will be stuck at Temperance 2 so he can work Woodsman during meltdowns. I've also hired a new agent, Spyreal, They're another agent from my original playthrough. Just another randomly generated one that is remade by manually. The plan for the new abnormalities is to have Yumeka and Claude work the one that is a normal abnormality, and then have somebody like Yeti come down and work the tool. Other than that, it's a pretty basic day. The mission is just to end the day before Meltdown Level 8. We'll end it before the dusk starts. Just so there's no risk of another death. Let's do the day now. The Dreaming Current is a WA level abnormality that does white damage. However, it hates having instinct work performed on it, thus meaning that it can really only be used for repression training, as it has commons in that stat. Even though it prefers instinct, it's not really worth training it because it doesn't do any health damage at all. What a terrible work rates. Although it still can be used for justice training, which is something we've needed for a bit, so I'm still accepting it as a trainer at this day and age. It has a cool thought counter of 2. This counter lowers when an employee panics working on it, or when an employee with Temperance Level 1 works on it. I don't know why you'd send an employee with Temperance Level 1 to work on a wall. I haven't even hired an employee with Temperance Level 1 because I'm spending Lob to start them at Temperance 2, so I guess if you haven't been doing that, and you decide to send all your new employees to walls for some reason, it might breach. It just doesn't have enough damage to make people panic in our facility, so you'll probably will never see its breach outside of this brief summary. During its breach, it fills a bunch of hallways with soapy, bubbly liquid. According to its encyclopedia entry, this is supposed to damage HP and heal SP of employees who are standing in it. However, this is not true. It only slows them. It will stand at the edge of one of its hallways, and then charge at very fast speed to another hallway. Anything in its path will take a lot of red damage, and it will be very, very deadly. It'll teleport through every single hallway doing this until it reaches the end of its path, and then it will stay there for a bit and do the same thing over and over again. It's a bit tough of a suppression, but it will probably never breach in the first place, so it's pretty safe to work on. It gives a lot of gear, but its gear is not great. Its suit is only a 0.8 towards everything but pale, which is worse than other WA suits in the same, it's directly worse than another WA suit, is what I'm trying to say. And its weapon has the worst DPS out of all the weapons in the WA tier. It's essentially Syrinx or Void Dream's weapon, but WA, and with no damage upgrade. Other than that, since Dreaming Current is so safe and it's a WA, you can still use it for that justice training I mentioned earlier. I like having it in the facility just for getting all the suits. It helps make sure that everyone's in at least WA level gear, which is something you want because it's the first set of tier of armor that doesn't fall off when it's in armor effectiveness when it takes a left damage. Portrait from Another World is an HE level tool that is a single use type tool. When it is used, the portrait changes to a picture of the employee who worked on it. That employee also receives a mark and will start emitting dust. After the employee works in it, another employee will receive the mark and dust at random in the facility. Any damage that the first employee takes will be instead dealt to the second employee, but multiplied by 1.5. After 100 damage has been dealt by this effect, the portrait will change and the damage will increase to double. At another level of damage, the portrait changes again and the damage will multiply by 2.5. If the employee who is marked by the portrait to take the damage dies, a new employee will be marked, unless there are no employees left, in which case the original employee will die. If a new employee tries to mark themselves using the portrait, the employee who first received the mark will die. Overall, it's just a tool you send someone over to when it melts down and make sure they're the only one who works it for the rest of the day, if it melts down again. Kind of just ignore it, don't really ever use it for training, because that means they're not getting the damage buff for training. The only training type that would still receive full benefits, if they are being damage transferred through portrait, would be Justice, but in general people who are training Justice have high other stats anyways, so that's not really... You have to worry about them dying when they're doing Justice training, most of the time. And we are back into the day with another Actual recording. I never know what I'm saying. I immediately disregard my own advice from yesterday by not immediately moving them down to the lower level. I am good at this game, I swear. So, because Portrait only kills the agent if it's a new agent working on it, you could just send someone down there and have them work on it 10 times in a row to unlock all of its information immediately. And we want to have everything have all of its information for reasons trademark. So we are going to do that. And the reasons are 100% requirements. There's an epilogue scene, you only see if you have 100% abnormality dissolution. If we get these two, we'll be at 25%. Sharky there has a lot of gear, so it's kind of important that we work on him for most of the day, because we want to finish before the dusk. Sharky, aka Dreaming Current, I can never remember his name for some reason. Also, you might notice that I'm having Goom repress DRV. This is just a test to see if it's good for repression. It's a base 40% chance, which seems alright. As long as it's like semi-efficient at like 1 or 2 per meltdown level, I'll probably have more people do it than just Goom. Because we are in need of justice training. Everyone's at like 1 to 3, which is bad. Yeti's linked to Eke, luckily. I mean, I don't really know why I said luckily, because realistically, Yeti's not going to do much work today. I don't know, like, the Portrait's effect. It's just, like, it's not good for training, and it's not good for fighting. Realistically, all you're doing with it is just working on something you couldn't work otherwise, but if one of your agents can't work on something, and you want to work on it, chances are they're your best, and then you're just going to kill, like, your entire facility. I don't really see the point of Portrait's damage passing at all. It's just a tool that does a thing. I don't really understand what the purpose of that thing is in the end. And we're cutting to Green Noon again, because Green Noon is the one I was afraid of, and I wanted to show something about it. So we do the traditional Green Noon strategery of moving everyone to a central place, except I didn't move central command so I could keep working on Dreaming Current just to get the day done a bit faster. I can never remember the names of things. So we do a lot of damage when we're together as a group now. That number is only going to go up when we have more employees who can fight and more strong gear. It is quite humorous. But there's something that I haven't really acknowledged, and that's that I completely forgot about the one in Central Command, and they just soloed it on their own. Whoops. So yeah, Green Noon's not really that big of a threat anymore. You can probably just, you don't even have to gather up the departments, probably. The only one we have to defend is training, realistically. Just because they're all Red Week there, because they're putting all their Red Week suits just so they could train up faster. So yeah. I'm probably going to start cutting Green Noon completely from videos unless something interesting happens, like a death or me wanting to show something off. Oh hey, I actually mostly killed it while I was asleep for once. Amazing. Supposedly the song has variants for like something. I don't really know what switches between them, but I never know until the difference, so I'm just kind of assuming they're all the same song, despite the fact that I've been told it's not the case. We have a lot of meltdowns nowadays. It's starting to be a bit annoying to handle all of them at once, but hopefully we'll get something to deal with that faster soon. Subtly implying upgrades we're going to get in the future, I would never do that. I'm trying to count them all to make sure I got to 10, because there's one I'm missing. It is the meltdown of Scarecrow. You might realize that I do not have anyone who can work Scarecrow, except for Spyreal, who's working on Woodsman, Scarecrow's cousin, so
I'm just gonna let it melt down. That means Scarecrow will breach, but we've dealt with Scarecrow's breach a lot of times without death. It's not gonna be anything different. Well, I guess some clerks die, but do they really count? I don't really think they do. Nedsack doesn't think they do. And when has Nedsack ever been wrong about anything? Don't answer that question. Somehow I cancelled the work that was going on at No Porcupus, so it breaks out, or there was already work being done, I don't really remember. It breaks out and Scarecrow breaks out, so we have a double breakout at the same time. Whoa. So I'm just like, Goom and Bong Bong can fight this, they'll probably handle it on their own. Goom's duoed it before, and then everyone else can fight Scarecrow, because I was going to do. When you have fights occurring about like most of your facility, it's kind of annoying to keep track of everything going on at once. Which you want to do just to prevent deaths, but Scarecrow is pretty easy, and Porcupus isn't that bad anymore. Goom's wearing white weak armor, but he can tank DRV without any problems, and that does more white damage than Porcupus does right now, so he should be fine. Scarecrow goes down. Hooray. But Porcupus is still alive, and Bong Bong is getting to the edges of sanity. Even though Porcupus does white damage, it still kills when it breaches. I think I said that many times in the past, but it's worth reiterating. Just because it's something that you might not think if you don't remember it. So I have Bong Bong retreat after they get a bit lower. And it's just to make sure that Porcupus doesn't kill anyone, besides all the clerks it killed. And Porcupus is totally not an annoying attack sound effect. Porcupus gets beat down with enough invisible hammers to go down. Realistically, Goom isn't really a great choice for suppressing Porcupus because it resists white. Neither was Eke, but I do what I can do. Fragment Spear is like completely gone by this point, by the way. It's completely replaced by Rakes from Scarecrow. They're literally just a power cut version of it. And I've just cut like a million works of the Dreaming Current because I was like, we need to get this gear. You can imagine me saying that by remembering when I said it 5 seconds ago. Dreaming Current's gear, while not great, it's gonna be our newbie gear for like the end game portion of the game. And for right now, it's our only wall armor, so it is something I want. Man, I still really wish DRV had armor. Would definitely make it a must take in my opinion, but I don't know what tier it would be, because it doesn't. And that's the end of the day with that last gun. We've had a lot of minor growth today, but the only major growth is in Justice stats. That means Justice stats of Goomb, Yeti, Mecha, and Clud have all leveled up. Lichang's Fortitude also leveled up his Pharaoh's Temperance Cap, but that's to be expected when they were working on what they were working on. No one hit a Justice Cap, that's because Justice is kind of hard. Justice is kind of hard to raise. And I think from my test, it seems that DRV is about as efficient as Dreaming Current when it comes to raising Justice, so I'll probably be using both of them in the upcoming days to do so, considering it's the stat that's like the lowest across our entire facility. Goomb is our first 5/5/5 agent, or Mecha, or Clud, depending on how you see things, but all of them are 5/5/5 now. Mecha and Clud are both a bit higher than Goomb overall, I think, but regardless, all of them are level 5 and everything, which is what's really important. With that done, I think we still have 2 more abnormalities to pick today. We will see shortly. I was correct, we do. It's day 25 is the no pick day like normal. This will be 2 normal abnormalities, no tools. I don't know why I thought there wouldn't be, considering there's going to be a new part of the department open tomorrow. I'm dumb. That's not news. Anyway, abnormalities. 262. Its scale would never neglect the weight of even the smallest sin. Bird! FO442. Wah. The day the right apple fell off the tree in the garden where the princess and the king stood, the witch's heart shattered. TO131. For break and ruin, the most beautiful performance begins. This is the first Aleph we've seen, but bird. 00408. The girl begged in tears, "Mister, please cut off my feet." F as an HE that we've seen before. FO157. I'll hang his head over my bed. Only then can I get up in the morning without having a nightmare. This is a wall that we don't really want because its breach conditions are not good for a facility. 00104. In the name of love and justice, here comes Magical Girl. This is a wall we don't want because our breach conditions are not good for our facility. Wow, this is a really bad pick. 2. I guess I will take good old, I'll hang his head over my boarding and then can I get up without having a nightmare. I don't know what I said. Words. An abnormality taking the form of a straw scarecrow. The straw is drained with blood. The head is empty as if someone forcefully tore it off. It shows aggression towards certain employees, attempting to take their brains. These employees are those who scored excellent on the intelligence test. Each city needed to have its own unique technologies. That was the key to reinvigorating the city. There were numerous ones, but among them, one city saw advancements in technology for replacement of body parts. It was possible to repair or augment body parts that were broken or malfunctioning, or simply undesirable. Every citizen was eligible for that treatment. However, rumors circulated. When a rich person looking to improve their eyesight approached a beggar with broken lungs struggling to breathe, they would transport the beggar's eyes to the rich person. Then they would abandon the beggar's corpse somewhere along the outskirts, still with those rotting lungs. The city's representative reassured them, dismissing the rumors as nonsense. To put the rumors to rest, they announced that they would select a number of sick people from the outskirts and fix any body parts they wanted. Out of the lucky few who were chosen, one returned several days later. He had a visibly long scar on his head. People asked him how he felt, and he responded that his head felt lighter. He was a man filled with sorrow who used to cry a lot, so everyone believed his surgery was a success. However, when he was asked about the whereabouts of the others who went with him, he just smiled without uttering a word. Before long, even at his parents' funeral, he showed no emotion. All he did after the treatment was stare out the window and talk to himself. Eventually, he hung himself on the doorknob of his house. Some people thought that the treatment caused his troubles, but after a few days he was completely forgotten. The city still remained a beautiful place where the emerald roads sparkled bright as ever. What a beautiful story.